In this video, we'll learn how to use integrate accounts with inventory. So let's go with trying. So if you want to use accounts with inventory, first we'll go with the F11 feature. We go to company features. In this you have an option called features. The shortcut key is F11. So here we have an option called maintain inventory. So if this option is yes, then in the company you can use inventory options like stock summary reports, inventory vouchers, everything. If you disable this, so all these options, whatever you see, integrate accounts with inventory, multiple price levels, batches, job work processing, cost tracking, job costing, all these options will not be able to maintain. So we'll just disable, and if I press enter, see the cursor is moving to taxation directly. It is not where it is taking a cursor to any of these options, which means you can't maintain your data. So let's see what happens in my menu bar. So when I'm seeing a gateway of tally, you can observe, so there is no report called stock summary. And if I go to a display for more reports, I'm not able to get inventory related reports. I can see only accounting related reports here, which means this will be used for a service industries, not for a manufacturing and a trading industries where they maintain a inventory in tally. If you don't want to maintain our inventory features, you can disable an option and I can use only the accounting features in tally. So if you want to maintain even inventory also, then you can go with a company feature and you can enable an option maintain inventory as yes, and we'll accept the screen. So we'll see a difference now. We are getting a stock summary now and even inventory reports like inventory books and a statement of inventory. So this option can be enabled and disabled at any point of time. There is no restrictions for this particular option. So whenever you want you can disable, whenever you want you can enable the features. According to that, Tally will give you the options and reports. So the next option we have in the features called integrate accounts with inventory. So what is this integrate accounts and inventory? So in your books of accounts, your inventory is different and your accounts is different. So accounts can be maintained even with inventory or without inventory. And if you want to add a inventory, then it becomes accounts with a inventory part. And whatever the reports you have related to the inventory, whether it has to be integrated or not. If you want to integrate and if you want to merge, if you want to club both the reports, then you can enable this option to yes. If you want to show inventory reports separately and the accounting report separately, then let it be. So we'll see both the options. So we'll understand what it happens if I enable this feature or disable the feature. So we enable this feature first and we'll accept the screen. So now we'll see a stock summary part. So we have some closing balance here. For a better understanding, we go to F12 feature and we enable show opening balance as yes, show closing balance is already yes, and also we go with inward and outward as yes. So you'll be getting a different columns. One is opening balance, inward which is also called as purchases, outward which is also called as sales, and the closing will be a formalized with a closing balance. Closing balance formula will be opening balance plus inward minus outward. So opening balance we have 40 numbers of mobile, inward is 0, so it will comes to 40 itself, minus outward 4 numbers, it comes to 36,000, and the cost will be taken the opening balance cost as well as inward closing stock and it will average it. So it will not pick your outward cost or outward price. So if you see our opening balance, it's showing 22 lakh 60,000 and the closing balance as 21 lakh 14,000. If you enable accounts with inventory, integrate accounts with inventory as yes, then the same amount will be picked to your P&L. So your P&L is your accounting related report. It is not your inventory related report. Stock summary is your inventory related report. Balance sheet and P&L is your accounting related report. So it's picking a opening stock and closing stock, whatever it is showing in a stock summary in your P&L. And similarly, if you go to balance sheet, current asset side, you can see a closing stock option of 21,14,000 rupees, which will be picked from your stock summary. Whenever you want to finalize your accounts, if you are using a inventory, then it is mandatory that you have to declare opening stock, closing stock in P&L as well as in your balance sheet, only a closing stock. So either this can be picked directly from your stock summary or you can user defined. So if you enable integrate with inventory, then this is a feature what you can use. So in this feature, if you are maintaining a proper accounts with the inventory, then you can use this option. If not, then don't use this option. The reason is, give you the two scenarios over here. The first scenario, if you are maintaining a proper books of accounts with a purchase entry with inventory and a sales with inventory, then your stock summary will be correct and you can go ahead with integrate accounts with inventory. If not, if you are purchasing a goods and if you're not entering the inventory part in a purchase transactions, and while making a sales, if you are using a inventory part, how many goods has been sold, in that case your stock summary will not generate properly because you have not declared a stock in purchase but you are declaring it only in sales. In this case your stock summary will be in negative. So but technically you doesn't have a negative stock, you will be having a stock in your hand. The thing is you have not maintained your accounts properly with inventory. So in that case what we can do is you can go to F11 feature and you can disable this integrate accounts with inventory as no. So once you disable accounts with inventory as no, then if you see a report, the stock summary remains same as it is. It doesn't affect anything because it is a inventory related report. So we are not integrating, that's it, from inventory to accounts. So it remains as it is. Still it is showing opening balance as 22 lakh 60,000 and closing stock as 21 lakh 14,000. So if you see a profit and loss account, I'm not getting an opening stock and a closing stock value. It is not picking from your stock summary, which means it is not integrating. And the same thing, if you go with balance sheet, I'm not getting a closing stock balance in a balance sheet. So if you want to finalize your accounts, then you have to key in a opening stock and closing stock without interrupting your inventory part. So in that case, what we can do is we can create one ledger called stock in hand or whatever the name you want. You can give like stock, opening stock, closing stock. It is as per your requirement and convenient. So I'll just give a name as stock and I'll group it under stock in hand and I'll give a opening balance. In this group, the opening balance in the sense opening stock. So I'll give opening stock as 1 lakh rupees and I'll accept the screen. So where do I give a closing stock then? Do I need to create a new ledger again? No, not required. To enter a closing stock value, we go to alter option. We go with the same ledger what we have created just now, a stock part. So here it shows a closing balance. First it will ask for a date and then a value. A closing balance can be entered on daily basis, weekly, monthly, quarterly or yearly, or whenever you want you can enter and you can Analyze your reports with a closing balance values. So in this example, I go with a quarterly closing balance. I give a first quarter period as 36 2020. This will be the first quarter. From 1st April to 30th June will be the first quarter. I'll give a closing balance as 1,15,000 rupees. So again it will ask for a date. I go with second quarter and I'll give 1,50,000 rupees as a closing stock. And I'll give a third quarter as 31st December and I'll give a closing stock as 80,000 rupees. And I'll give a fourth quarter period as 31st March as 1,75,000 rupees as the closing stock. So you can enter a closing stock in this manner with the different dates or whenever you want. According to that, your reports will get generated. So we'll accept the screen. So now we go to our stock summary. Your stock summary doesn't affect with these values because we have not integrated it. Your stock summary sees a same value what it was showing from the beginning. It was showing 22 lakhs 60,000 as opening and closing as 21 lakh 14,000. So if you see a profit and loss account, now we are getting an opening stock and a closing stock, but it is not picking a value from your stock summary. So we are getting an opening stock as 1 lakh, even a closing stock as 1 lakh. Why it is showing 1 lakh in both the end? So we have given different values, right? So the report we are seeing on 1st April. So we need to change a date from 1st April to 30th June so that it shows opening balance or opening stock is 1 lakh and the closing stock as 1,15,000. So if I change a period again from 1st April to 30th September, so opening stock remains as it is because I'm saying from 1st April till 30th September. So my closing balance will be keep on changing. So it will be 1.5 lakhs. Similarly, I go with 31st December. I'm getting 80,000. The same way we go with 31st March. We go with 1,75,000. So whenever you are giving a period, as on that particular period, the balances will be shown in your report. So it is not integrated now. We are giving a user defined closing stock value and it has been affected in my accounting reports. This is how we can integrate accounts with inventory option. Thank you.